Napoli have made a move for Endoy. Man City say no to Gibbs White, and Forest feel closer to McAtee. Welcome to your transfer news. Afternoon everybody, hope you're doing well and welcome to your latest Forest transfer news. Coming up, we're going to tell you about the latest with Endoy as Napoli put an interesting offer into Bologna. Man City are saying no to Gibbs White, we'll explain why. Vissa could be on his way after leaving Brentford's training camp, but is it to Forest? And McAtee sets out where he wants to be this season coming. So if you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. There's a new video out on Patreon as well, talking about all the Crystal Palace Forest stuff and the latest developments with Cass. So if you want to check that out, scan this QR code or click on the link that's pinned in the comments. Okay, let's jump into this and let's start with Endoy. So Forest have agreed personal terms with Endoy. Just a quick recap for you guys, as have Napoli. He said yes to both sides. He's playing the field and I respect it. Why would you say no if you're happy with either offer? Now Forest were the first to show their hand. They put in a bid for 30 million euros to Bologna. This was rejected. And now Napoli have decided to come and play. And according to a tweet from Romano, he says that Napoli have put in an offer of a loan deal, which is a 9 million euro fee up front. Then an obligation to buy for 26 million euros with 5 million in add-ons. So when you add all of that up, it comes to about a 40 million euro package deal. And we know as well, we don't know, but what we've reported to you guys is that Bologna are looking for somewhere in and around 40 to 43 million euros to let Endoy go. They are under no rush or no real push to do it. This is definitely being more driven by the player than the club at all. So they're quite happy to keep him if they can't get their valuations met. Now, is it expected that they will accept this offer from Napoli? I'd be surprised, not because I don't think they don't like the deal, but the fact that a lot of the times most offers are rejected. I've had people trying to freaking banter me saying, oh, Forest put a bid and got rejected. I can't remember a bid that's been accepted that isn't a release clause straight off the bat by any club. Clubs will always come in lower than they want to pay for, start the negotiations from there. The selling club will reject it, knowing that the club will come back in if they're serious. So the question now is, do Forest go in again? And if they do, they've now seen the benchmark set by Napoli. So they know they've got to get somewhere around 40 million euros. Now, I don't think it has to get that close, because if you look at the breakdown of Napoli's deal, it's 9 million euros up front, then 26 million next year, and then 5 million, which probably gets triggered in a year or two if the add-ons are even achievable. So the question will be to Bologna, do they want more cash up front with a promise of a sale next season, or are they happy just to get more money but have it spread out over that kind of period that Napoli have proposed? So I do expect Forest to come back in, but maybe they improve their bid by 5 million euros, so they'll go 30 million plus 5 in add-ons, something like that. That then I think is probably a better offer than the Napoli deal, because it'll be more cash up front. Yes, it'll be over a payment plan, etc. But the deal seems to me more logically coherent to do it like that. Now, I'm not really cut up either way. I've not got Endoy on my shopping list. If we get him, cool. I think he's a good player. But I think there's better out there. And when we're starting to get to that 40 million euro mark, then I think we're going into a bracket where you think to yourself, go 50 million and then get some quality. What I don't want Forest to do is, especially if we look at where we are now compared to where we were 3 years ago. 3 years ago, any player could get through the door, bang, 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 knock them out, 30 coming in through the door. And they were done at cheap deals, 10 million here, 12 million here, 15 million there, the odd big one in Gibbs White, etc. Now Forest have a spine in their team. They've signed a lot of these players up. The back four is all pretty much signed and done. The keeper as well. You've got Chris Wood on a new deal. You've got Igor Jesus coming through the door. Callum Hudson-Odoi in negotiations. At this stage or phase, to use the Arteta phrase, Forest now need to add that stardust in there. Yes, we need a right winger replacement. Let's go big on now. Akliush. Just saying. We need maybe a left winger as well. Fofana, I know Liverpool are now linked to him. And then we definitely need someone in midfield, Douglas Luiz, for me. It doesn't need much, but it needs more money. So what I'm saying here, rather than go for volume of players, go for the quality, I think is the correct play here. Now, obviously there's PSR issues, but Forest have sold already. We've sold Elanga for 55. Danilo's gone for 20. There'll be one or two other more fringe players that go. So it's a never-ending cycle where money is coming in and going out. But that's my take on it. I say move up that pedigree level, go for Akliouche, who is available, who's not really being chased by anyone right now. Yes, I know Monaco have got Champions League football, but I think we could convince him. But one can dream. So that's the update on Endoy. We'll see. Now the ball is in Bologna's court to reject or accept the offer from Napoli. The expectation is there is strong talks going on, by the way, between the two clubs, and it does feel like the scales are tilting more towards Napoli than Forest right now, but we'll wait and see on that one. Now, briefly, you might want to skip this, but I'm going to quickly give you the update very quickly on Morgan Gibbs White. Man City have come out and said they are not looking to recruit any more midfielders. They are done with their midfield recruitment, aka we're not interested in Man City. This follows reports from yesterday that we told you about that Forest and Marinakis are saying anyone but Spurs. So it looks like maybe those options are starting to run out. Man City aren't going to recruit. I can't see Chelsea needing another midfielder, Arsenal, whoever else they deem that would be a bigger club than Spurs. I guess there's a lot. But it looks like we're going to probably start to come to a conclusion on this one soon. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Gibbs White stays. And that gives me a bit of a conundrum on what I think about him. So that's the update on Gibbs White. Let's move on. I don't want to talk about him any longer. And sticking to Man City, McAtee has now come out and said, or reports should I say, have come out and said that he is more in favour of staying in England than he is of going abroad to the likes of Germany. As we reported to you last week or a few days ago, he was out in Germany looking at Dortmund, looking at Frankfurt, checking out their facilities. And clearly he didn't like what he saw because he's come back and decided, I need to stay in England. So there is now an expectation that McAtee will stay within England. There are a few clubs linked to him, but the most heavily linked to him is Forest. Again, this is a valuation thing, I think. Forest have him between 20 and 25 mil. Man City are pushing to try and get 35 mil for him. I don't think they can do that with 1 year left on his contract. And let's not forget a player who is actively seeking a move. So the cards are not in favour, in my opinion, on the selling club here, but the buying club. So I would expect a deal to be able to reach somewhere between 20 and 25 million. I do feel Forest have a very good chance of getting him, but we'll see how this one plays out as well. At some point, Forest, you're going to have to sign a player, man. Getting boring just reporting on these. How are you guys feeling about it? Like, we're coming to the end of July now, and we're still talking about maybe this, maybe that, if this happens, if that happens. Fucking sign someone. Anyway, rant over. The last one to tell you about is Vissa. Now, Vissa has left the training camp at Brentford because he suddenly looked around and he's thought, there's no one here. Manager's gone, Buemo's gone, Norgard VPN's gone, the backroom staff have gone to Spurs. And he's saying, why am I still here? So he looks like he's definitely on the move. Apparently he had talks with their hierarchy, if they still exist, about staying or not, and Newcastle have submitted a bid for him. They matched what Forest did in January and offered a 25 million bid, which Brentford have rejected. It is now believed that Newcastle are going to come in again for him with an improved offer. However, Forest and Spurs are still the other two clubs that are sniffing around Vissa. But this one's starting to feel like me, again, like one of those scales is starting to tilt towards Newcastle's side. Now, does that mean anything on Isak's future? There's loads of reports on him and everything. I don't really care. That's not our problem or our concern. My concern is what comes through the door at Forest. So I don't think we're going to get Vissa, if I'm being honest with you. I don't think Forest are willing to go over 25 mil, especially as he has 1 year left on his contract and potentially a +1 from the club as well. So if you've been holding out hope for Vissa, I don't think it's going to happen. Sorry to be the one who breaks the bad news to you, but it looks like I think he will end up in Newcastle. Apparently, he's put some positive signs out towards them saying he would like to join them. But what do you think? Can Forest turn this round? Can Forest turn this transfer window around? Because I'm bored of it. I really am. If you are, let me know by hitting that like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well if you are new. Go check out the video on Patreon, and I'll leave you a couple of other videos on here as well. Come on, you Reds.